What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel for the Week 15 Waiver Wire Show. I'm your host, Dylan Clemons, and I'm here as I am every week giving you my top 6 waiver ads of the weeks. And everybody, if you're listening, I'm assuming you're in the playoffs right now, and congratulations with playoffs starting this week. We're keeping on. You know, I'm going to try to get you to that championship, and we're going to keep rolling on. But before I jump into my top 6 guys, I want to remind you to please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. And then head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out our memberships where you can become an all-access member where you get access to our award-winning rankings, draft cheat sheets, because believe it or not, we got fantasy baseball season coming right around the corner. You also get access to our F6P Discord where you get custom advice for your leagues. And with the playoffs here, guys, what better time than to do that right now? And you get access to our F6P Discord where you can sit there and ask us any questions you want just for a small fee of $9.99 a month. And once again, that is fantasy6pack.net/plans to become an all-access member. Use promo code FFPlayoffs at checkout as well, and you get 25% off. So even better. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into things. And my first guy here is Odell Beckham Jr. Woo! I feel like we're back in 2018, everybody. Is Odell back? He's definitely not the guy he once was, but it is great seeing him back on the field and playing well. He balled out against his former Rams team in honestly brutal weather. He caught 4 of his 10 targets for 97 yards and a touchdown, but 2 of his catches weren't just regular catches, guys. He had to turn around to the other shoulder and make an absurd catch. You know, he finished at wide receiver 7 on the week, and which was his 4th top 36 finish in his last 5 games. He's quietly putting together a solid season back half of the season. And guys, he gets the Ravens this week, who Jacksonville is a good defense on paper, but they struggle against opposing wide receivers. They've allowed the 8th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers this season. If you're dealing with injuries this week, or if you just need someone to plug into your wide receiver flex, Odell is someone that you can just plug in and feel totally okay with this week against Jacksonville. But jumping into the second guy now, and it's a quarterback. We don't normally have a ton of quarterbacks on this show, but with all the injuries, we lost C.J. Stroud. We lost Justin Herbert, who fractured his finger. We're probably struggling out there, and that's why I brought up Matthew Stafford. He might be rostered in your league. He might not be. 44.8% of leagues he's available in, but he really should be a top 10 quarterback rest of the season. He has put together 3 straight weeks of awesome play, finishing as a top 8 quarterback in 3 straight weeks. And the matchup against the Washington Commanders, honestly, couldn't really get any better unless they were playing the Eagles, and it was only by like a half of fantasy point because the Commanders get blown up by opposing quarterbacks. And I feel like Matthew Stafford is going to absolutely continue that trend. When you can really disrupt Matthew Stafford and make him uncomfortable, he can struggle. And with Washington trading their pass rush and Chase Young and Montez Sweat at the deadline, I don't see that happening very much. So I feel like Stafford's going to use his weapons, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and just pick this bad defense apart. So go ahead. You need a quarterback this week. If you lost Stroud, just pick Stafford up, slide him right in. No problem. Should have a very, very solid week. This next guy, Antonio Gibson. I've been pounding the table for him, and he's almost over that 50% threshold, but we could put him on here for one more week, everybody, it looks like. If you guys don't remember, before the bye week, Brian Robinson injured his hamstring, which maybe Gibson sees an increased workload because of that. It does sound like Brian Robinson is going to return to practice this week, which, in all honesty, doesn't hurt Antonio Gibson that much because he had been producing, because he is the pass-catching back in this offense. He has seen at least 5 targets in 4 of his past 5 games, leading to 3 top 20 finishes in PPR formats. just the passing game work gives him such a solid floor. And if he gets even more work on the ground, if Brian Robinson is hampered a bit, what's to say Gibson can't have a ceiling game? The matchup isn't great against the Rams defense, but I have no problem picking Antonio Gibson up, plugging him into my RB2 spot. They should be down in this game, so it could be positive game script for him as a pass catching back. And I am honestly okay with Gibson in my lineup this week. The next guy, Deonta Foreman. We were all wondering coming out of the bye for the Bears what this backfield was going to look like with all three running backs finally healthy. Well, it was Deonta Foreman. Looks like he's the lead back after what he's done when he's gotten his opportunities. And he was okay this past weekend. He wasn't great, but finishing with 9.2 PPR points. But what you like to see is he led the backfield with 39 snaps. Roshan Johnson had 20, and Khalil Herbert just saw 12. So in my eyes, it pretty much comes down to Deonta Foreman is the early down grinder and the red zone guy. Roshan Johnson's going to come in on passing downs and either pass block or catch the ball out of the backfield. And it looks like Khalil Herbert is just relegated to a change of pace back, which is pretty shocking because Herbert looked spectacular earlier in the season. So maybe he is struggling to come back from that ankle injury. And on paper, this matchup against Cleveland isn't great, but if the Browns can be beaten up anywhere, it's on the ground. The Browns have allowed 100 yards on the ground in 4 of their past 5 games. So if the Bears really want any chance to win this game against this really good Browns defense, they're going to need to lean on Deonta Foreman. They're going to need to lean on Justin Fields' legs, and they're going to want to run the ball to try to win this game. I think Deonta Foreman is also another decent option if you needed a plug-and-play guy because out of all the running backs, he has the best chance of falling in the end zone, guys. So it could definitely be worse than Deonta Foreman. That is for sure. The next guy, probably make an argument that he could even be higher on this list, but then that's Jerick McKinnon, running back of the Kansas City Chiefs. And playoff Jerick is here, I guess. That's all it takes is playoffs to get here. And he's going to score a touchdown to get you ready to go and give you some confidence in being able to play him. When the news broke about Isaiah Pacheco going out, I went to the waiver wire in my home league, and I sat there for a good 10 minutes thinking about who I should go with, Jerick McKinnon and CEH. I landed on Jerick McKinnon because I remember what he did last year in the playoffs and him having a sustained role in the passing game and in the red zone, which I thought he was going to see more over. He was going to get more touches in the red zone than Clyde, which he ended up doing 2-1, and he found the end zone. I also thought Clyde was going to get more of the workload, which he did. He played 32 snaps compared to McKinnon's 30, and he out-touched them 13-7. Guys, but I really don't care. I don't care. After what Jerick McKinnon did last year and showed us scoring 5 touchdowns in weeks 15 through 17, playoffs. Why can't that happen again with him solidifying that same role as long as Isaiah Pacheco is out? Pacheco is out again this week. McKinnon, pick him up, start him. Get you 10 to 15 fantasy points. Hopefully he gets into the end zone again against the bad Patriots team. And I have no problem with that. I think you could definitely do worse than Jerick McKinnon in your RB2 or flex spot. This last guy, another quarterback. And now I really feel like we're back at 2016, 2018. Joe Flacco, quarterback of the Cleveland Brown guys. Just 2-3 weeks ago, he was sitting on his couch. Browns called him up, and he is playing pretty well. Just 5.6% rostered. And I went back and forth between a few different people on who I wanted to put here. But with the quarterbacks going down, that's where I went. I went with Flacco. If you miss out on Matthew Stafford or if he's not available in your leagues, Flacco is a nice consolation prize. He started 2 games for the Browns and finished as QB 13, QB 10. You'll take that. We love the volume we're seeing from him. He has 89 pass attempts through 2 games. So Kevin Stefanski is really putting his trust in the veteran, and it's working out for his weapons as well. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore getting more involved, and David Njoku just going off this past weekend. And we said earlier, the Browns and the Bears are squaring off this week, and the Bears defense is getting better since the addition of Montez Sweat, and they are good against the run as well. So that means Flacco might need to chuck the ball all over the yard again. So, I mean, I think he could be a plug and play top 12 guy just because of the sheer volume. He throws a couple touchdowns. At that point, who cares if he throws a couple interceptions? All you're looking for is a top 10 week. And I think Joe Flacco can deliver that for you. But all right, guys, that's it. I wrote the article at fantasy6pack.net as well. And I gave you a list of other players to target on the waiver wire as well, but that's behind the paywall. So like I said at the top of the show, head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans, become an all access member for just $9.99 a month. You get access to that. So, but I will be back in your guys' feeds on Friday for the week 15 game previews. But until then, I'm Dylan Clemons, and I will talk to you guys next time.